This is the last rules video talking about after the match, and this talks about scoring specifically. So first we want to talk about the match. Remember, the match is 2.5 minutes. At the end of that 2.5 minutes, the technician has to stop the robot and touch nothing else. That's when the scoring actually begins. So the referees might be jotting down notes through the match, but scoring does not officially begin until that 2.5 minute period is over. For scoring, all mission requirements must be visible at the end of the match. And so before we get to the rest of the sentence, what that means is it is possible for you to do something on the field to earn the points and then undo it by the end of the match. Almost everything is done during the match. The only exception to this is if there was a method that was required in the mission. So the referees are going to be looking, did you meet all the requirements during the match? But the scoring is going to happen at the end of the match. Again, unless there is something in the way the mission is worded where they have to award it then and there. But for 99% of the cases, the mission is scored at the end of the match, and so that's when everything counts. Some keywords you'll see when we see completely in. Like I said before, that's going to include the lines and the airspace. So we talk about breaking the plane to give the technician, the student, the benefit of the doubt. If something is on the line and the line is what matters to determine if you get points or not, whichever way it needs to go to give you the points, that's the way it'll be determined. But again, that's only for if it's on the line. So completely in, lines and airspace all count as completely in unless otherwise mentioned. So pay attention to your rules for your missions, which we'll be getting into soon. If there is something catastrophically wrong and you cannot run your robot, you should still go to the table because that is how you earn gracious professionalism points. If you don't earn gracious professionalism points, you will hurt yourself in your core values scoring, which will hurt you in your core values ranking, which will hurt you in the overall rankings. So even if you can't run your robot, you should send technicians to the table to participate in the match, even if you're not running a robot. And part of that's going to be explaining to the referee, why we can't be there, or you can be present for the match. Either one is fine. Just make sure that you have communicated that with the referees, especially that the head referee is in the loop. And finally, we've alluded to this before, the referee will document the results with the team. And when there is an agreement, it becomes official. The head referee will step in if there's a dispute between the technicians and the referee, but only at that time would the head referee step in. Again, only your best score counts towards awards and advancement. Ties are broken using the second and third best scores. Again, once the technicians and the referee have agreed and signed the score sheet, that is the official score, and there is no more disputing it after that point. And so the referees will only talk to the students, so it is up to the students to understand how to have those conversations and how to be prepared for those situations. But those are the last of the rules, and these past few videos have kind of gone whatever I would consider are mostly evergreen rules. These are rules that are pretty consistent regardless of what the actual challenge is. In the next few videos, we're going to get into, what's new this year, what are some corrections that we'll have to be aware of, if any, and what are the specific rules for this year's challenge. But that wraps up our general rules.